Shalom, everybody. Looking forward to another session together with you. So we talked about the four different stages as far as understanding the progression of how the Yiddishkeit and Judaism came to the point where it is today. The first one was, if you recall, about Bereshit bara Elokim, that God created the heavens and the earth. So first of all, God himself, it's not some senior citizen sitting up on the throne, as Igor thought. But God is, as the Kabbalah and Hasidus explains, an infinite energy, infinite creator, an infinite being, an infinite, something beyond our understanding, something we cannot understand by definition. We are a little piece of a part of this incredible creation, and this whole creation is only an infinitesimal small part of what we call God. To the point that Ani Hashem Lo Shanisi, that the world really does not have an intense or any effect on God, so to say, which is a whole subject of its own, which we can go into some other time. But in the meantime, this infinite force, Adon Olam Hashem Malach B'Terem Kol Yitzud Nivra, that this master of the universe, who ruled even before the world came into being, decided that there should be a world, and decided that there should be a people, human beings, and that there should be from these human beings a chosen people, a couple perhaps of Avraham Avinu and their descendants, who will bring a message to this world that it should be a world with free choice. That people should be able to choose, number one, to believe in God, number two, to be able to be moralistic, to have values, to see light over darkness, and to be able to make the world a better place. And all this comes about in creating a world where God is going to be totally hidden. Because if God was apparent, it would be impossible for us to have that type of free choice. If every time we did a good deed, we felt $5 falling into our pocket, or a tingle, or a great feeling, then what kind of free choice would we have? Everybody would be doing this. So how did God, so to say, hide himself in this contraction? Even though right now in this room and where you are, we believe there are an infinite amount of, so to say, creative watts just flowing into that room to make it what it is. How does that happen? So the Kabbalah explains the following. Hasidus goes into this in great depth. That God, as we say in the Torah, is Machadesh B'tuva B'choyim Tomin Ma'aseh B'rishis, in the Siddur, in the prayer book. God renews the creation on a daily basis. And as the Baal Shem Tov taught, that this is not just on a daily basis, it's really on a millisecond to millisecond basis. That there's a constant flow of that energy. Just to give you an idea how to understand that, let's use an example here in Long Island of Shoreham nuclear reactor plant. If Shoreham had ever gone on, so the light in this room would be coming from the Shoreham nuclear reactor core. Now let's say that core is 1 billion watts, for instance. So how are we going to get the energy from that 1 billion watt nuclear core into this 60 watt bulb? Because if you would make a direct connection, what's going to happen? Of course, the bulb's going to blow to smithereens. So what we do is we set up generators that are going to, intermediaries that are going to minimize the koach, the power of this light, step by step, so that the energy behind that initial nuclear core electricity is minimized to the point that it can come into a 60 watt bulb. Similarly, in God's creation, we say there's a Seder Histashlos. Seder Histashlos, according to the Kabbalah, is a chain of worlds, meaning that there are many different levels between infinite and finite. That God minimized his light and his energy step by step, stage by stage, world by world, in order to be able to bring it to a point that this world could come into being. So let's say this world now was a 3 watt level. From an infinite amount, God brought that energy down to a point for the transformer, from one transformer to another transformer, to the point where it's 3 watts. So 3 watts gives us enough energy to be able to create the world, gives us enough energy to be able to function as human beings. It also gives us enough energy that we know there's something behind this world that makes it tick. That's its source of creation and source of energy. It also is low enough in energy that it gives room for the possibility of there being negative energy. Negative energy meaning that is energy that is so contracted and so dark and so where godliness is so hidden that is what we call evil, or we call negative energy. We call klippa or sitra achra, or many different names in Hebrew for this type of energy, which we consider to be not kedusha, not holiness. In fact, the world at large, as the Tanya describes, is klippas noga, is by nature neutral. It's not holy and it's not unholy. We, with our free choice, have the ability either to elevate it into holiness, to 4 watts, to 5 watts, to even higher, or to take the neutral things of the world and to descend them in lower. For instance, let's say money. Money is a piece of paper. It's by definition neutral. However, we can use it for a mitzvah. We can use it to give tzedakah. We can use it for many different purposes. Or we can use it for negativity. We can use it to buy things that we shouldn't be buying, or to use things we shouldn't be using, to go places we shouldn't be going to, and so forth and so on. So God brought this world specifically into place in a way that God is all over the place, omniscient, omnipresent, but hidden. And that's where, as I mentioned before, the name Elohim comes into place. You have the Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, which is what we call Hashem, Ado and Noi. And then we have the Elohim, which is the second aspect of God, the aspect of God where God hides himself. And this is where the challenge comes in, because we as Jews are monotheists, and we believe that everything comes from that oneness. There's no such thing as duality. We can't say that God is sort of say the good stuff comes from God and the bad stuff comes from some other source. Everything comes from God. The challenge is understanding how everything fits into that context of there being one God who creates everything, even the worst possible things, with the idea that we have free choice and how it all fits into one big picture. And that's really a challenge that we all face in our daily lives, is finding that proper balance where we believe in God, trust in God, feel that God in our lives, but nevertheless accept that God created a world where we're going to constantly have those challenges and obstacles in front of us. And the good news is that all those challenges and obstacles that you have, that we all have collectively, they all have a purpose. And they're all there in order to be able to help us to better accomplish our purpose in life as well. So go out there today, enjoy fulfilling your purpose, and remember, God is there, God is omnipotent, God is omniscient, and God is with you, whatever you do. Have a great day.